Hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in to see some of the weird, strange, and scary stuff that lurks in the reefs around Moalboal. The first thing I'll show you looks like an ordinary plant, right? But I noticed that the tendrils curl up in a kind of reflex action. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's not a plant. And then look what drifted by me in the current. I recognized the curling tendrils, but the whole plant is drifting along, curling its tendrils in some kind of synchronized fashion, and I'm starting to wonder what this thing is. It's very strange. And then I came across this. It's not a plant, is it? Next up is a public safety announcement. Be careful. There are snakes in the seagrass, and in the rocks, and snooping around in the coral, too. They aren't afraid of me or anyone, and they go about their business, which is looking for something to eat. And occasionally, they come up for air. I saw this snake at the end of the reef and tried to get closer to it so the video would be better. And then it came up for air. So I lifted the camera above the water to catch the head of the snake taking a deep breath. And all of a sudden the head went down. And that's me panicking and trying to get away from the snake as fast as I can. I was sure the snake was coming after me. And just to be clear, the snake swims a lot faster than I can. But it wasn't really interested in me after all, thank God. So we will file that under scary. Next, jellyfish. And they aren't quite as scary, although a box jellyfish sting can kill you. I don't know what kind of jellyfish these are, but when the sun is out and the water has been calm for a few days, they come up from the depths in pretty significant quantities. And these clear little golf ball-sized jellyfish can sting. And it's itchy, makes your nerves tingle, and the sting stays with you for a few days. So while a single one of these isn't too scary, imagine what it's like to realize they've got you surrounded. So, enough with the scary stuff. This next one is weird, and kind of creepy, really. These starfish come out of their nooks and crannies when the tide goes out, and they feel around with their nasty little appendages for what? But in some places, they're everywhere. So, let's just file this one under yuck. Now for number 5. Spiny sea urchins. Who knew they were social creatures that hang around in large crowds in water that might be only a foot deep? So if you walk out into the reef barefoot, be careful. We're going to file this one under dangerous, but also very interesting. You might not know it, but they can move around pretty quickly, and then they get into a pile for some group sex. All that touching and feeling is really quite exciting, as you can see. So be careful when you're wading into the reef. You don't want to crash this party. Next up, maybe back to scary, are the lionfish. They're out there trying to blend in, but don't get too close to them. A sting from one of their many barbs is lethal, and I don't think it's a good way to go. But these fish aren't at the top of the food chain either, so they do some pretty interesting things to try and blend in. And in this case, look like a piece of vegetation. So again, watch your step. Finally, these aggressive little fish, maybe 1 or 2 inches long, they guard their homes with no regard to the size of the intruder. Right now, these fish are everywhere in the reef, and you can't step on the rocks in some areas of the reef without being attacked. Fortunately, these little fish only attack the strap of my sandal numerous times, and always the strap. But then look at this poor guy. Notice how the fish attack him too. And with leathery skin and a shell, these fish really don't seem to have much of an impact on the decision-making process of this particular turtle. They're strange little fish. They're so determined. So I guess I'll wrap this little presentation up now, and thanks for watching. See you next time, and if you like and subscribe, you'll be the first to see the next scintillating episode of life in the reefs of Moalboal.